Hey, let's go ahead and get started with a reading for you guys. Spirit, please show me what is the most important messages the collective needs to hear at this time. Anybody tapping into this reading? We've got number 5, unity. That's funny. I tried to start a reading earlier and got interrupted, and I had the 5 of cups. Now you have number 5 again, unity. So 5s are all about changes, change created by outside forces beyond your control, and there's nothing you can do about it. In this deck, it is equivalent to the Hierophant in the original Rider-Waite deck. So the Hierophant is all about, it's almost like having God universe in your reading. So it's about tests, overcoming and passing tests, learning the lessons. And it says doing the right thing for the right reason, right? So it's almost like even when nobody is looking, you always want to be doing the right thing. Okay. It says compare traditional versus new approaches to see which works for you, a spiritually minded community. So maybe for a lot of you, this is about looking at your life and approaching it differently. Being the fact that we have all of these, shifts and changes that are happening so rapidly in the collective, it's almost like we have to look at life through a different lens, okay? And it's about also, finding your tribe, finding people who are like-minded, and that's also going to help you along the way. We have the 6 of Summer, children or childhood, the return of people or romances from your past, remembering events differently in a better or worse light than how they really occurred. So something here to do with the past, maybe test of the past, okay? Past people could be coming back and testing you as well. But also what I'm getting to is maybe there was people that were left in the past, and sometimes we need to go back and pick up what got left behind. And sometimes those are people from the past. Maybe we got in some type of an argument. We do have that Scorpio full moon coming up on the 23rd. We're in the buildup of it now. And that right there can also, end old arguments and fights, okay? Especially with the unity card here. This is about setting healthy boundaries with people from the past, okay? For some of you, there could be some sense of nostalgia, all right? You could be feeling very nostalgic, but I also feel like it's about you unifying with people from the past and clearing out some type of karma. Doesn't mean that they're going to be with us in the future, but sometimes we need to go back, clear things up so that we can move forward. And I've noticed myself doing that lately too, talking to people I haven't seen in a while. We do have the High Priestess here. It says trusting your intuition, careful reflection before taking action, taking action, insights that come through meditation. So this is about using your intuition. You know what I'm also getting with this? I'm getting where it's almost like you're on that wavelength of someone from the past. You know how you'll be driving or something completely mindless, right? And then all of a sudden you think of somebody that you haven't thought of in a really long time. They just pop up into your mind's eye. And then right after that, they call you. And it's because you're on that same frequency. It's almost like the same as if you're going in to tune into a radio station and you have to hit it just right in order to tap into that. Same thing with the people in our lives. That's when we're both on the same wavelength and that person could pick up on that call, and that's when they end up reaching out to you. So, if you don't want it to be somebody you don't want to talk to, then be very mindful of that. All right. So trust your intuition. All right, Spirit. And sometimes it's like, trust your intuition. The universe will, pop somebody into your mind's eye, and it's because you need to reach out to this person because they could give you some type of information, okay? Something that you needed is like a piece of the puzzle, all right? Spirit, keep going. What else does the collective need to know right now? All right, we got 3 cards out. We got the 5 of Spring. Now we have 2 5s here, the 8 of Winter, and another 5. So 3 5s. This is definitely about changes that are happening. There could be some type of conflict going on around you, or it could be going on within you. When we have the 8 of Winter, which is like the 8 of Swords in the original Rider-Waite Tarot, the 8 of Swords is like not knowing what to do, almost blinded by what's going on around you. You're too locked into your head and you're not really listening to your intuition. But that's what the High Priestess is asking you to do, is listen to your intuition. For some of you, you could reach out to somebody from the past, and you could also find out that they are going through something And it doesn't even have to necessarily be like somebody from the, way past. It could just be somebody you haven't talked to in a little while, and they could be going through some type of conflict. Not necessarily always you. It could be somebody that you're dealing with. And it doesn't always have to be like one person. You could hear about multiple people going through that. Being that we have 3 5s here, that says maybe it's like 5 different people, but whatever that is. So it does say here with the 5 of spring, okay, it's talking about opposing goals arising from differing opinions, feeling at odds with yourself or others, overly ambitious people, okay? So, there could be something here about too many cooks in the kitchen, too many people, or not even having a plan. Maybe sometimes it's like you're trying to build something and you don't have a plan, and you could be at odds with other people as well. With the 8 of winter here, it says you have what it takes if only you believe in yourself. Thinking that you're powerless when you're not. A lack of self-confidence that keeps you from getting what you want, okay? So for a lot of you, this could be an internal struggle, believing that, maybe you're looking at like somebody else from your past who tried the same thing as you and they failed at it. So you believe that, I'll probably fail at it too. That's bullshit. That's just something you tell yourself so that you don't have to move out of your own comfort zone. But Spirit's saying, I'm trying to guide you. Listen, you have what it takes, because I see the High Priestess here with the Book of Secrets. So it's like you already intuitively have everything you need. And when you have the High Priestess with the High Priest here, which is the Unity card, the Hierophant, right? It's like you have, God universe backing you, but you also have your intuition and your internal guidance also guiding you. So you need to learn to trust yourself and, get moving. So 5 of winter, we have walk away from dishonest associations, realizing that what you thought you wanted isn't the best choice for your happiness, something that's not worth the effort. For some of you, it is some type of chaos that created, or some type of fights and arguments. And maybe for a lot of you, you're just sick and fucking tired. When I look at all these 5s, this is like, with the 5 of Wands, petty arguments, petty fights. 5 of Swords is nobody's going to win that argument. And eventually, instead of just sitting in the self-imposed prison that we put ourselves in, I have to stick around because, of my love for these people. For some of you with the 6 of Cups, it could be your children, it could be people from the past, people you've known since childhood, or it could be your own fucking family that you're walking away from. And you're just like, listen, we're just not on the same page anymore. And if you're not here to learn the lessons, I am. And I got to keep stepping, there's nothing I can do. And with the 8 of Swords here, it's about getting yourself out of that. And it could feel like shit, when we're making these decisions, because you may end up having to leave things behind. Okay. So let's keep moving. Let's see what the future holds. We got the ego. Okay. Number 15. It says the illusion of being trapped, placing too much importance on material items, getting caught up in fear and worry. The ego card is the devil card in the tarot, okay? And the devil is all about feeling bound and gagged, in the basement. But yet, unless somebody actually has you there, you're never stuck. So this is about the illusion. And we talk about the 8 of winter here. And the 8 of winter is all about a mindset that keeps you stuck in a prison. So the devil will continue to hold you in place because it doesn't want you to expand. It doesn't want you to move forward. And your ego, I have to sit around. I have to do this because if I don't, blah, 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 whatever excuse you make for yourself. And the devil, you have to break free from the devil. And how you do that is through the Hierophant and the High Priestess. It's having that strength over adversity. And you don't want to make yourself, because whatever this is, the devil will continue to allow the conflict in your life because it feeds off of that. You give that ego power. So a lot of the times people don't move forward because of fear of what their family will think or what other people will think. And, if I don't stay in this argument, they're going to think I don't care about them. No, if you really cared about them, you'd step out of it and you'd step out of your comfort zone. Maybe your comfort zone is your fear, but I don't know, and you can't use the excuse, they're my family, or I've known them since kindergarten. Bull fucking shit. It doesn't fucking matter how long you've known certain people. It's a matter of, again, you learning the lesson and realizing life is too fucking short to continue going down this path with anyone. And it's not worth my happiness and my sanity, okay? So I feel like this is part of your spiritual journey. When I look at the high priest and the high priestess here, I feel like this is a very, very spiritual, like, test, okay? And you're being asked to pass this test. And you're gonna have to take the fucking blindfold off and see things for what they are and not for what that you want them to be, okay? So what else do we have here, Spirit? 2 more cards out for the collective. Yes, we have the King of Winter. So this is about being fair-minded. This is about getting advice from someone professional and objective, public speaking, unemotional relationships. And I feel like for some of you, maybe these emotions, or, you went from having, all this love, and you'll always love the people. They will always be wrapped within your DNA. They will always be your family, even if they're an asshole. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we have to look at things from an objective, point of view and really see things for what they are. And again, not this other shit. Now, for some of you with the ego connected to this King of Winter, you need to be really mindful. This is somebody who is very narcissistic. This is somebody who does not take responsibility. They like to come in, they like to create a fucking mess, and then they're right back out. And their tongue is very sharp. Okay. For others of you, this is about somebody getting out of prison. Okay. You could very well hear about somebody who is getting out of jail or prison. All right. And one more card out, Spirit. There we go. Okay. And what do we got? Prince of Autumn. We have the Prince of Autumn. It says cautious but wise action, meticulous attention to detail, kindness to others. Okay. Bottom of the deck, we've got the Four of Summer. All right. So it says being distracted and failing to see a magical opportunity, taking someone or something for granted, discontentment with life. And maybe that's the thing. People took you for granted. People didn't see what it was that, they weren't like, they held back. They didn't offer you what you needed. And so because of that, you've had to learn to pull back your energy. And I feel like for a lot of you, you could really be looking at all of the things that you're losing instead of recognizing what you've actually gained. The Four of Cups, is usually depicted as 3 cups on the ground, and the person is sitting under a tree with their arms crossed. And they're looking at all the things that they've lost, the 3 empty cups, but they're not noticing the 1 cup that's coming in from the universe. And the universe is like, but here, it's almost like your consolation prize. But we're afraid to look up because it's almost like one of those too good to be true. I've been in a narcissistic relationship, and I don't know what to do. And again, that can be a self-imprisonment where you're holding yourself back from really enjoying what the universe has to offer, because again, you're looking at all the things that you're losing. I see this all the time in fucking relationships. They know this person's an asshole. They know this person is absolutely not fucking good for them, but yet they keep pining after this person. They, instead of taking the time to heal and do what they're supposed to be doing, instead they're sitting back still waiting for this individual who's never going to bring anything to the fucking table, And then for some of you, it's almost like, for others of you, it's like a commitment. There's a commitment. And for some of you, maybe you have children with this person, and this person, like, you guys are unhappy in your relationship, yet you're going to continue in it because of the children. When I look at the 6 of Cups, oh, well, I stay because of the kids, or I stay because of the finances, or I stay because ... Everybody's got a fucking reason as to why they stay, And so, but that's just an excuse. And this narcissistic asshole that I see sitting down here is going to want to hold on to you because they enjoy the control. That's what the devil represents, control over you. So for some of you, this person is all about mind control, because we have the 2 swords here, the 8 of Winter, the 5 of Winter. They turn everything around on you, okay? They hold back on their emotions. They don't fucking, they don't give it freely. It's almost like you need to be loved because you're going through a really tough time, and this person doesn't like your attitude, so they're going to do everything they can to not love you, and that's really all you need, is for somebody to wrap their arms around you and make you feel safe. But instead, you're already going through a rough enough time, and then this person turns around and makes you want to feel like shit even more. Well, here's the deal. You have an opportunity to reach out, to speak to a mentor, to speak to a counselor. A lot of people, they don't want to speak to their family because they don't want to speak ill will into the relationship. relationship, because again, at the end of the day, not everybody is going to be as forgiving as you are when you decide to turn a blind eye to the person's toxicity. And instead of reaching out and experiencing what the universe is trying to give back to you, which is true love, you're looking at all the empty cups that this individual is providing, and there's nothing in it, right? It's all a bunch of bullshit. So at the end of the day, this is all about a learning process. And I do feel like this is part of your spiritual journey, is you're going to have to get your fucking way out of this, and you're going to have to use your intuition and see things, you know, that maybe you can't see it, how it's going to come together today. But if you are willing to do the work, that's the thing. When people walk away from relationships, they don't want to do the work. They just want it to be all easy. It's, you know, if it's not easy, I'm just going to stay where I am because I don't have to do the work that way. And so what you're doing is just continuing to punish yourself. And then you end up with dis-ease, which is disease in the body, is because it's a dis-ease of what's going on in your life. And then you're going to end up with bigger fucking problems. So, you know, it's not just what's going on outside of you. It's affecting what's going on inside of you as well, which will cause cancer, tumors, you know, abscesses, you know, whatever, bronchial infections, you know, ear infections, eye infections. So it goes out and bleeds into different areas of your actual physical health. So keep that in mind. I do feel though, this is about, you're going to have to get yourself unstuck. Okay. Unstuck from committed or these commitments. I do see for some of you, this is divorce. Okay. You're divorcing a narcissistic, toxic individual. I don't usually like to throw around toxic too often. I feel like that's a clickbait word. You know, somebody does something. Not everybody is toxic just because they don't want to be with you. That doesn't make them toxic. It just means that the two of you don't mesh. And I think that a lot of people do that, but it also feeds your ego because you hear somebody talking bad about the other person. And sometimes they're not actually bad. They just don't want to fucking be with you. You know, that doesn't make them toxic or narcissistic. It just means that they have a different view of their future, and you need to respect and honor that and give them the freedom to go out there and seek it. If that road leads back to you, great. And if it doesn't, great, because that means there's something else on the other side. You guys, I'm going to go ahead and leave that here. Food for thought. I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. If you are interested in a personal reading, all my information's in the description box down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It does help my channel grow. Check me out on Facebook and Instagram under The Footsteps to Peace and Peace Unhinged Tarot. You guys, I love you all so much. Thank you again for being here, and we will chat again soon. Take care.